All right, all right, all right. I hope you Patriots out there are kicking ass, taking names. Welcome to the party, folks, the Patriot Party News.com. I'm your host, Chaz Carter, coming at you guys live from the Wolf Den, folks. Exciting day. We got a special guest we're going to be bringing on. Super duper excited. I know you guys are going to have questions, especially today. I'm going to highly recommend that you go ahead and start getting your questions ready. I'm excited on who we're going to be bringing on today. Obviously, if you looked in the title, and David Weiss with Flat Earth, you've seen him. If you kept up with Dr. Charlie Ward, you've seen him multiple times. Frequent visitor there, no stranger to what we do. And I'm excited to get a little educated, but also learn something. I think it's very important that us patriots in our community know what's going on, get educated, but more importantly, be educated through facts, not nonfiction, so to speak, or fiction, I should say. So, with that being said, guys, I hope you are ready. Let me see if I can get David. David, are you there, sir?
Hey, Chaz, what's going on? Thanks for having me.
All right, David. Pleasure to have you. Welcome to the party, brother.
Yeah,
Hope you're doing
thanks.
well today. So, if you wouldn't mind, David, kind of give some people are brand new to what's going on in the world and so forth. And if you wouldn't mind, just give a little bit of background on yourself, who you are, and what you're planning on talking about today. And I'll probably end up having some questions as well in the chat.
Yeah, if you're new to this, you're going to think it's the dumbest thing ever, just like every single person that's involved with flat Earth. Some people don't like that term because, yes, there's hills, there's valleys. Yes, we know there's mountains. We know there's trenches. But when we talk about the Earth and what it really is, we're all programmed to vilely reject it, just like a gut reaction. And the question is, you have to ask yourself, why are you reacting so crazy to this topic? When I first heard about it, I banned people from our social media. You're no longer allowed to listen to my podcast, I would say, because you're so stupid to ask me to look into flat Earth. But then, kicking and screaming like a little girl being dragged into a pit of alligators, I finally looked, and I went in with a biased attitude. I went in to disprove it, to prove the globe. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. And we'll get into it by the end. Why? Why the lie? Because that's where you're going to get to. Everything that you think was a proof of the globe, when I show you that it's not, and it's probably a proof of flat Earth, you're going to go, why the lie? Why the lie? Well, this is the most important topic of our time. This is the reason the world is in such a screwed up place right now, is because people have their heads up their rear ends and they're lost in space, spinning out of control. No idea the true power that we have. Okay? We have all the power. They've convinced us that we have none of it.
And that's so true. I mean, there's so much misinformation out there where people are taking a guess or what they view on television, so to speak. And kind of goes back to when we hear about the supposed moon landing. Okay,
Yeah.
and all that stuff. The supposed, and you're talking about what Stanley Kubrick and how he came forward and said it was a total hoax, just a crock and everything else, because he's the one that actually directed the whole thing. I'm in amazement here to know. So, what was your awakening with all of this? Yeah, it was great. You bring it right on up. That's awesome. So, what was your awakening with getting on and and being in this segment? We're talking about flat Earth and things like that.
What got me here? What?
Yeah.
So I was doing a podcast called Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole about many of the deceptions. And I'm going to speak, I know that we're on a free platform, but this may end up on YouTube, so I'll just speak modern Bluebirdie. exposing the New York event, the Connecticut school event, the marathon event, and and I figured I called it exposing the big three because anyone that can see through those, I figured could see through everything. But the problem is people would see through it and they'd be like, oh, well, that was this administration, whatever. They got away with it. They're going, whatever. And they just go back to their lives as slaves. They don't realize that they're slaves in a prison. Then when I realized that the earth was intelligently designed, that we have the power, which we'll get to, that changed everything for me. I walked away from my own company. I had the American dream. I had my own company. I live on the East Coast in America. I'm privileged and I was making tons of money, and I walked away to spread this message because right now, with your channel, you guys, about being patriots, getting people together, fighting for our rights. If we get our freedom back, how long can we hold on to it if we're spinning out of control, lost in space? If we don't know, if we don't know, the true power that we have, and Flat Earth will show you that.
Absolutely. I've already got some questions coming in already.
Before we get to questions, let me just give a quick
yes,
rundown of what Flat Earth isn't. Okay.
Okay.
Many people will say, well, I saw it on Netflix. That was a complete deceptive movie. Not a movie. It was done by people. The producer of that movie was funded to do another movie on the Connecticut school event that happened. Total hit piece, right? Everything they showed in the movie was just an edited lie, right? You can take the words that I said right now in this interview, chop them up and make me say something else. That's what this movie did. So what is Flat Earth, right? People that hate Flat Earth, they think that we're a disk floating in space with a whole bunch of other ball planets. No Flat Earther thinks that. That's ridiculous. That's insanity. No one thinks that. Only globe believers think that Flat Earthers think that. So what is the Flat Earth? Well, as I said, there's hills and valleys. When it rains, where does the water accumulate? To the top of a hill? No. It goes to the lowest level, and it makes a puddle or a pond or a lake. And the edge of that is where the land is higher. Large bodies of water at rest need a container, and our container is Antarctica. Antarctica is the land that surrounds our ocean. It's the highest land on Earth. It's not a continent at the bottom of a ball. It's the land that surrounds our world. What's out here? We don't know. It's off limits to everybody. No one's allowed to go beyond this purple line. You can take a guided tour on a ship. They'll bring you right here. They'll show you some penguins and some ice, and that's it. No independent travel, no independent exploration beyond the shoreline of Antarctica is allowed, and it's off limits until the year 2041, right? Since 1959.
2041.
Yeah. Wow, the only treaty that has lasted the test of all time, right? It happened in 1959. A dozen countries signed on. Now they've all signed on. And this was right after Admiral Byrd went out there, said there's land bigger than the United States, filled with resources that no human has ever set eyes upon. And then all the countries in the world agreed, nobody can go there. Nobody can exploit it. Nobody could do anything. But go ahead, deforest the Amazon, but we have to protect the ice and the penguins. That's insanity right there. Once you understand that's actually the truth, then you have to ask yourself why. Why is Antarctica off limits? All right, go ahead. Back to you.
So I've heard in the past, up to the 40s, maybe 50s, in our school system, they were teaching Flat Earth. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, from what we've heard in the past, and then all of a sudden there was a massive change in the educational system to where they started teaching everyone it was round. Is that accurate?
Yeah, well, we're told in our history books that Aristophanes 2,000 years ago figured it out with his sticks and shadows, and I could show you how that is nonsense. But I was interviewing this woman, Ruth, 102 years old, back in February of 2020, just before the Rona nonsense. And I was interviewing her about the World's Fairs, which is a whole nother rabbit hole. And her memory was so good. I asked her what they taught her in elementary school about in science about the Earth, and she said they taught me the Earth was flat. I'd never mentioned flat Earth to her. In Hamden, Connecticut public school, she was taught the Earth was flat in the 1920s. We found another teacher, a woman from Croatia, who said in the 1930s all the schools were teaching flat Earth. And this deception is less than 100 years old. Okay, this is all about keeping us in control, because if you think you live on a ball, you've limited your thoughts. You've limited the expanse of your thoughts, and you've limited your ability to manifest your reality. Our thoughts create our world. Everything you have in your life is because of the way that you think, right? You know this.
Yep. 100%.
And they've got us limiting our thoughts, that we're locked on a ball flying through an infinite universe, that we are insignificant, and that an asteroid, nuclear bombs, all this stuff could take us out at any moment, when the truth is there's infinite possibilities.
Wow. Yeah, we've got a couple questions in already. One is from Warren here. Warren says, I've seen videos of 2 or 3 people that were between 90 years old or even 100 years old or older, but I've said they were taught, like we're just talking about flat Earth, and then they started talking about the globe, and he says it was around 1958 with NASA showed up. Is that correct? In which we just covered that. Here's another thing too that brings up, since we're talking about NASA, okay, I don't know, and I might be way off here, but supposedly NASA discovered something pretty serious in the ocean, and it changed the whole dynamic of everything. What do you know about that? I don't know the explicit details, if it was aliens, if it was whatever, but something totally shifted, and maybe that's part of why now we're being taught that the Earth is round versus flat.
Well, NASA, in my opinion, the sole purpose of them is to make you think that you can live on a ball. The whole moon missions things were just to make you think you can live on a ball, to protect this lie, because what you'll see is, and I'm going to show you that there's flat earthers everywhere now. Everywhere. I'm going to show you. And and that all of these flat earthers, we're all awake to the deception. We're all of a sudden, when you see flat Earth, all of a sudden, it's like knowing how the magician does every trick. You go to the magic show, which is the news, reality, the speeches, government, whatever, and you're like, oh, that's ridiculous. And you can see through it all. So this is the most important secret that they have, right? Because when you wake up to this, you literally realize the creation where you live. You find out that you're at the center of creation. You find out that you are the one that's in control. The only control the government has over you or anyone is in your imagination. That's it.
Amen.
Absolutely. That's it. So as far as what they discovered on the ground, I don't know. Here's the thing. Anything higher than we can reach or beyond the shoreline of Antarctica is speculation. Maybe we live here in this inner circle, and maybe there's other land, extra territory out here, extraterrestrials would live out there. And if they came to visit, what would you call them? An extraterrestrial from where? Outer space? Sure. The outer space, right? So maybe, there's lots of stories about stuff beyond Antarctica. Had a story about a guy that was in the Navy or Army or Air Force, and he's 90 years old, and he said that he took many, many trips to Antarctica, but he's not allowed to talk about it until he's 100. He signed a non-disclosure, and he got very nervous talking about it. And he says, all I can tell you is there's lots of people that live there, maybe like cities of people, and they're not allowed to come here and communicate with us. Just like, the people in North Korea might not be able to communicate outside North Korea. Well, think how easy it would be if they're, separated by, frozen wasteland. So who knows?
Sure.
Yeah. So as far as
talk about
NASA said they hit the, and I used to believe this, they hit the moon with a bomb and it rang like a bell. So that puts you into Hollow Earth. I say, cool story, right? NASA, nobody sent anything into space ever because space doesn't exist as we've been told.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty serious. That will probably shatter a lot of mindsets of people that are watching this right now. We talk about the UFOs and things of that nature. So correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
So if the reports that we see, are you saying that maybe these are coming from the cities outside of that border?
Correct.
Coming in? Okay.
Think about this.
Think
about this. Aliens, extraterrestrials. What's more feasible? That there's aliens that are humanoid, whatever, that are coming from other star systems. Let's talk about the closest star is Alpha Centauri. It's 25 trillion miles away. Okay? That distance is unfathomable and uncalculable by your mind, right? Because you don't understand how far that is. I'm going to show you how far it is. If you were traveling a mile per second, that's pretty damn fast. For 1 trillion seconds, you'd be 1/25th of the way to Alpha Centauri because it's 25 trillion miles away. You're going a mile per second, 1 trillion seconds. You've gone 1 trillion miles. Do you know how long that 1 trillion seconds is? How long in days? Do you want to guess?
I have no clue.
It's 31. It's 31,000 years.
Wow.
1 trillion seconds is 31,000 years. So it would take you 25 times longer than that to get to the closest star. And you're going to tell me that there's aliens coming from there and crashing in Roswell? Or are they coming from just a few thousand miles away? Boom. They could come here, abduct somebody, probe their rear ends, and make it back for dinner with their family in the same day. Okay?
Wow.
So is NASA lying? They're trying to go to outer space. Why are all of the big telescopes in the southern lands? Why are they in New Zealand and Johannesburg and Santiago? And why are they all looking out, which is south? Why aren't they looking up? They're all looking out. South is every direction away from the center. Every direction away from the center. Let me show you quickly how this is one that people are going to ask. Circumnavigation. You can leave, and go west and come right back to where you started. Well, look, here's the center of the flat Earth. It's a magnetic mountain, and the compass always needs to point north. So I'm trying to push this compass west. Well, west is a circle because I have to keep turning, right? If I try to go east, watch, the compass needle always has to point towards the center. East is a circle. So I'm dead reckoning 90 degrees, and I end up coming back to where I started from. Does that prove we're on a globe? Now watch what happens if I dead reckon west and I do not correct to the north. As soon as I start moving, I'm heading south. The compass is now pointing north. I'm heading south. It should turn a little more. The magnet isn't strong enough. But south is every direction away from the center. Billions and billions and billions of people have circumnavigated the earth east to west. Do you want to guess how many people have done it south?
How many?
0. Nobody has ever circumnavigated the earth south. A couple liars have claimed that they have, but when you look at their data, when you look at the path that they took, you can see that it's absolutely ridiculous, right? Because east and west are circles. South, like if I go south from Australia, south, I don't magically pop up over here, right? Nobody has ever circumnavigated south, right?
Why not? Because of the treaties? Is it because of what
because you can't, right? South is, if I go south from Santiago, I'm just going, and I'm not magically going to pop up over here, all right? So here's a guy was going to do a southern circumnavigation world record, and Guinness Book was going to go for it. So he went from the North Pole, Went over here, Alaska, California, over to these islands, over here, Santiago. Then he went supposedly to the South Pole, and he said, oh, the weather's too bad. We're just going to go back up through Brazil and around this way. And we're like, oh, well, that's not circumnavigation. Guinness gave him the world record for southern circumnavigation. And if you plot that on a flat Earth map, this is all he did. He just went up and around. He touched the goalpost, turned around, and came back. That's not circumnavigation.
Wow.
I could leave New York. I can head east. I can go all the way through, all the way around, come all the way back, dead reckoning east, and I'm back in New York. Am I on a globe, or did I just go around the lake?
Like, right. You just went around the lake. It's like inside there. You didn't penetrate through. So let me ask you this question. If you had unlimited funding, and I said,
I could do it with less than unlimited funding. Go ahead.
Okay, that's even better. So what if we wanted to end this once and for all? And let's say somebody said, listen, David, show us exactly how to do it. What do you need to fulfill this? Would you be able to do it? Simple, and we could do it in one day.
Okay. So we get a whole bunch of people to meet here in Santiago. Me, you, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Bill Nye, the lion guy with the bow tie, a bunch of professors, a bunch of globe trolls, whatever you want. We fly everybody here to the base in Antarctica. They tell us this is 13,000 miles in circumference. Mm-hmm. So we got two airplanes. Right. A whole bunch of people are on one, and it flies about 1,000 feet in the air, and just follows the shoreline. So excuse me, everyone could look out the left-hand window and watch the shoreline. They could also see how fast they're going. Like, yeah, this is the normal speed of an airplane. Because when you can see the ground, you can see how fast you're going. If you're flying at 40,000 feet, you have no idea how fast you're going. But if you're looking at the ground, you can, when you're coming in for a landing at a major airport, you can see exactly how fast you're going. So one plane goes this way, and they watch the coastline the whole time. The other plane goes this way, they watch the coastline the whole time. And 6,500 miles later, both planes should meet over here. Done. Earth is flat. Earth is a globe, and Antarctica is at the bottom of that globe, and you just proved it. But the problem is you can't do that because that's not how the Earth is set up. Captain Cook tried it, I think, 3 different times. It took him over 3.5 years, and instead of going 13,000 miles, he went over 60 to 80,000 miles. And that's because he's going all the way around here. He's not just doing a little circle. As a matter of I got a video that's actually coming out on my app, which I'm going to show you in a moment tomorrow. It's coming out tomorrow. A new video showing how the Tropic of Capricorn is smaller than the equator, and that's impossible on a globe.
Wow.
I know I touched on NASA. I mean, you know that NASA's faking space. You know that their National Buoyancy Lab is where they have the space station. It's underwater. That's why we always see bubbles and stuff when they're doing their ridiculous experiments, right? When they're doing their spacewalks. It's all filmed in a pool. And I'm looking for another image while I'm talking to you. And in that room, they have a very interesting painting, if I come across it. Here's the other one I was looking for. Circumnavigation, east and west. Here it is. So, full space station underwater. And what is this? We zoom in on it. This is a Vitruvian man with a rocket trying to break out of a dome with a scuba diver handing him a power tool. Okay? Because this is what's going on. When we're watching these spacewalks, there's scuba divers that are being live edited out of the scene, and they're just floating around in the water, barely able to move. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
Yeah. If you look at there was a recent rocket launch the other day. I say most of these rockets, when they're not CGI completely, that they're helium. Watch this thing take off. It fell off sideways. It's a helium balloon with a little firework on the bottom. So watch it. Now the camera's going to go looking for it. they got all their fake smoke coming out of the ground. And they're like, where is it? It should be rocketing up at massive G-forces. Oh, here it is, just floating up. It's ridiculous. But they did it live, and then they show you this, and that's it. Now you're in space. That's all they show you. And then the thing starts falling apart as it's falling back down. Nonsense. You know, people want to believe in rocket launches. Oh, NASA just launched this, NASA launched that, and all the people that go there. Have you gone there? Have you seen it up close? Now, there are people that have seen things take off, but it's not, you know, it goes up, it goes away from you, it goes out into the ocean, and you don't see it anymore. Here's a SpaceX launch. This is ridiculous, okay? First, the amount of thrust that has to come out of here would just destroy that little metal rack that it's sitting on. This little gas flame, whatever that is, how come it's not like obliterating the smoke that's beyond it? Look how slow this thing is going. Now, this is a combination of CGI, of a balloon, of a bunch of stuff. But look how high it is. Now look how low it is, right? The shot from on board, look how high it is. And then watch, I'm going to show you. Now it's falling. 20 to 40,000 pounds falling back to Earth. Does that look like it's falling back to Earth? Look at the speed of that steam and that smoke. Look at it. It's barely moving. Mm-hmm. What is this? This is supposedly 40,000 pounds falling back to Earth. Oh, now look how high it is all of a sudden. This is not edited. This is what they showed us live. This thing is free falling back to Earth. Are you kidding me?
Like a balloon?
So it's a combination of balloon and CGI. So watch this. Watch this. Now the engines are going to come on. It's going to make it go upright magically. Okay? Watch the impossible shot. Camera right underneath it. Ridiculous. 2 of the 3 engines are going to go off. And then it's going to land upright with a whole bunch of CGI smoke. And people want to believe this. People will defend this. Look at the CGI smoke. This is classic CGI nonsense. You have to believe that really happened if you want to believe in space.
Wow. I have a number of people that live in Florida that have seen the space shuttles actually blast off. And they said, I've seen this happen. I've seen that happen, but it's moved a lot faster than what's being shown. So, and not debating here, but that's a good point. If people have actually seen it, what's your thoughts on that? Or
let me address that. So there's different types of launches that they do. Some of them are balloon launches, I call them, and some of them are miniatures that are launched. But you're so far away, you don't know what they're launching. Okay. This is the space shuttle that took off. Well, most of the time was a helium balloon with a little rocket booster on it. And the big orange tank is the blimp. That's why it always rolled over on its back, because the blimp was lighter than the rest of the blown up airplane. Okay? Right. So watch this thing when it takes off. All right? First is, if you just Google a space shuttle launch, you're going to find this exact video. Those people are nowhere near where this camera is. This is shooting out superheated gas, fuel at 20,000 miles an hour. You ever see what a hurricane or a tornado does to a metal fence at 300 miles an hour? Ties it into knots. Okay? And so this thing is going up. We've already had 3 edits already, right? 4. Oh, that's actually my edit showing it again. This is all smoke coming out of the ground. This is a balloon being launched. It's going to go out of sight and crash into the Bermuda Triangle where there's no boats. Okay? Now, it's going to show you another thing, and it's better when you watch this yourself. If you just Google space shuttle launch, you'll find it. When it was probably 35 miles downrange, but I'm going to say only 20 miles downrange. The solid rocket boosters, they get ejected. Okay? And when they eject, there's like these explosive bolts that happen, and you hear this, watch, it's going to happen in a second. And when you're watching it, you hear it at the exact same time. Now, if this is 20 miles downrange, what do we know about thunderstorms? Mm-hmm. Right there. You heard it at the exact same time. That sound would take over 90 seconds to get back to the camera filming it. But we hear it at the same time. This is a movie production. This thing's going over 17,000 miles an hour, and this thing's going sideways at 17,000 miles an hour. And where's the thrust? They always tell us that these things can't turn off. There's still thrust. How come they're not shooting away? Okay? Mm-hmm. This is a massive deception. And then this is being filmed by the guys in the shuttle that are still on their way up to space at over 17,000 miles an hour. This is falling back to Earth. Now watch right here. A little tissue is going to blow by. This is falling back to Earth fast, and it's going to burn up before it gets to those clouds. Oh, see that tissue? Right? Mm-hmm. Is this 40,000 pounds empty steel falling back to Earth, or is this a Macy's Day Parade balloon? These guys are on their way to space.
Right.
This thing is falling to Earth. What kind of camera do they have?
Good point. I have no clue. It must be, I mean...
They'd have to a camera that can zoom in super fast. And how's this thing keeping up with them? It's flying sideways through thick and thicker air. They're going 20,000 miles an hour to break Earth's orbit, nonsense. This is a balloon. It's so easy to fool people. It's crazy. Like, this is the space shuttle, right? How come we don't see any land? Well, the global answer is because hold on. The global answer is because we're over water. And the truth is, for zero budget with a solar panel, we filmed this in our front yard. And I'm just showing you how easy it is to fool people. Right? NASA gets $65 million every day. Do you think they could do better than what they're doing?
Wow. Some people that have felt the vibrations whenever a space shuttle launches. So I'm assuming that's a speaker system or
absolutely
some type of production.
NASA, they talk about it. They have these speaker systems, and they might even be using some sort of rocket engine on the ground to vibrate the crap out of the place. But another thing is, we found we were looking around on some images from Google Earth or whatever on NASA's property. I call this the 2-pack rocket because it's not real. It's a hologram. And we were zooming in and we saw this weird spotlight, and we zoomed in and we got like a serial number or a company name, and we looked it up. It was a holographic projection company. What does NASA have holographic projection stuff on their lawn? Now watch what happens right here. Something goes wrong. Ready? 2 seconds. Here it comes. Bam. I'm going to zoom in on it, show you again. Okay? This is a projection. This is a holographic projection. Wow. Happens all the time. This happened. They pulled this video down, but we already downloaded it. All right? Happens all the time. They make these screw-ups live. We capture them. We take them, and they try to deny it.
That's huge. That is freaking insane, dude.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. So you've got a lot of people in the chat here. I mean, they're asking a gazillion questions. Here's one. What about the satellites that supposedly, I saw somebody mention that briefly, about what happens, these so-called satellites are supposed to be up orbiting the Earth. What's your thoughts on that? And is that just more or less BS pretty much, and we're just transmitting regular, or what are you envisioning there?
Okay, so the first thing is satellites, the way they describe them, do not exist. Is there stuff up there? Yeah, absolutely. Do you know that NASA is the largest consumer of helium in the world? They own all of the major helium companies, and they admit that they have tens of thousands of satellites hanging from balloons. Okay? Not a secret. It kind of is a secret, but it's not a conspiracy theory because you can look up the information, right? Tens of thousands of these things on balloons hanging up. Now, is that what we're seeing? when we see lights go by that are satellites, I used to go, oh, there's a satellite, so cool. I don't know. I don't think so because, I mean, they could be these balloons, but they're moving at speeds, they very well might be. I don't know. They might be aircraft. They might be stuff that's natural. I honestly don't know. But when you think about what the orbit of a satellite is, first you have to remember, we're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. Okay, that's what they tell us. At the equator, you're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. We're orbiting the sun at 66,000 miles an hour. Right? Let me share a quick video to show you what 66,000 miles an hour is. Is that okay?
Sure. Yes, sir. Please.
Let me. Where'd it go? I had it all queued up, of course. And Safari. Where'd it go? Maybe this is it.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna look through. Okay, you got it up. All right.
I'm not sure if I have it
yeah,
up.
Yeah, it's coming up. I can see.
Let me just find it because my computer just freaked out. Where what do I have up? Do I have up us?
I'm sorry.
Do you have my? Is this a video right here?
Yeah, I can see the screen and everything.
Does it say hypersonic sled track?
Yes, it does, sir.
Okay, so listen to this. Watch this. This is Mach 8.4. Did you see that?
Wow.
So, watch it one more time. Okay, you have to believe that we are orbiting the sun 10 times faster than that. You have to believe that we're chasing the sun 90 times faster than that. Okay? And we have lakes that look like this, right? That's insanity. So now with all of those motions in mind, if you believe in satellites, you have to believe that those satellites are falling around the Earth, being held on by the magic of gravity, and they maintain their position with all of those different motions. We're traveling in 4 different directions at once. Let's pretend this satellite right here is a geosynchronous satellite. That means it stays over the same point of land. So the Earth is spinning, so it's got to mimic that spin. Right. The Earth is orbiting, speeding up and slowing down at 10 times the speed of that hypersonic sled, and the satellite is mirroring that to stay over the same point of land. We're chasing the sun 90 times faster than that hypersonic sled, and it's just keeping up with that also, even though we're speeding up and slowing down in an elliptical orbit over the year, and those satellites always stay in the perfect position. They never break down. They go from 500 degrees, 250 degrees above freezing to 250 degrees below freezing every 90 minutes. Are you kidding me? Like people want to believe in satellites when Arthur C. Clarke made up satellites, and then a few years later, oh, we have satellites. They predictive program us in our minds for this stuff. It's just like dinosaurs. This royal guy wrote a paper on dinosaurs saying that it theorized on them, and a year later to the day, he discovers the first dinosaur. Nobody in history, all the way back to the Egyptians, if you believe that story, ever has found a dinosaur. This guy writes a paper, and a year later to the day, discovers dinosaurs. What I say to that, I say, cool story, bro. Cool story.
Right. That's good stuff right there. You're blowing my mind right now, Dave. I'm just kind of sitting back in my chair, just sitting there, and I'm looking at the comments. Just
let's go through the comments. Let's answer as many questions as possible. But here's the thing, everybody listening, do not believe the Earth is flat today. Just go, Dave brought up a bunch of things. I got some work to doing because, as Crow 777 Radio says, belief is the enemy of knowing. Where do I live? Do I live in the Northeast? Do you know that?
Well, I just go by what you tell me.
You believe it because we're trusting people.
And your accent.
Well, so we're trusting people. It would take you probably a couple hours to verify it. Belief is easier. Yeah. You can go drink a beer, go take a nap, whatever you want, because you can just believe. You believe that the Earth is a globe, but you never found out why you believe that other than a guy in a bow tie told you. All right? So I'm going to show you how to find it, find the information. It is highly censored today. It's still on YouTube, but if you search for like videos by name and channel name, the good ones, they won't show up. They'll just feed you the propaganda by Man Dan or Not Professor Dave or Bill Nye. You're just going to get propaganda. I'm going to show you how to find all the information and then figure it out yourself. And then you can call me and thank me afterwards.
So here's a question real quick. Dodge Ram Girl 17 asked, what about Elon Musk satellite systems that's supposed to change our whole computer systems, talking about quantum? And obviously we're both, know Dr. Charlie Ward and how involved he is with quantum and things like that. What's your thoughts on that?
I say cool story, but I'll say one thing is, there's stuff up in the air that we don't understand. There's tens of thousands of these balloons. Maybe that's all they're using. Maybe they figured out a way to stick something into the firmament where it can stay there in a position. Maybe they have. I don't know. I haven't seen it. So GPS is provably the ground positioning system. Before they had GPS, we had a thing called LORAN, which was towers on the ground transmitting signals, and you could triangulate your position. When I had a boat as a kid, I would go on my chart and I'd say I got this 8-digit number and this 8-digit number, and I'd line them up and go, I'm right here on the chart. Then all of a sudden,
is that like line of sight? Is that line of sight?
It's not. I mean, maybe it's farther than line. It's line of transmission, which is how far they can go, but. Then they just did a graphic overlay with computers and images from airplanes, and they said it's satellites, right? But here's the funny thing is, when you are in the middle of nowhere, when you're in the Southern Oceans, when you're between California and Hawaii, there's no GPS. There's no GPS over the Amazon jungle. There's no GPS in the Southern Oceans. There's no GPS when you're 100 or 200 miles off of California. There's no more GPS until you're 100 or 200 miles from Hawaii, right? Why is that? Why, if there's satellites all over, there should be GPS everywhere. There's not. It's all done with ground towers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kind of goes back to the compass that you were describing earlier. That's interesting.
So think about this, and then we'll answer another question. Let me give you another one.
Please.
If we lived on a ball 24,901 miles around, like they tell us, a 6-foot tall person standing at the edge of a calm ocean should see the horizon at just 3 miles away. At 3 miles away, the water should drop below your ability to see farther, and you should have a physical horizon. Okay? A physical horizon. So when you're watching the sunset, you believe that where's my sunset video? You believe that the sun, that you're falling over backwards faster than the speed of sound, okay? When in reality, the sun's just going away. But if you're falling over backwards, which is making the sun go down, you should see the horizon cutting that sun off at 3 miles away. It should be going below a physical line that's just 3 miles away. And if you sit down, it should be 1.2 miles away, okay? According to globe math, this is crazy. You watch the sunset, you can clearly see it setting miles and miles and miles and miles away, okay? And the reason it sets is because it's all perspective. It's how everything gets pushed into the horizon, right? When you watch, when you have a day of nice cumulus clouds, okay? Nice, beautiful cumulus clouds above you, and they're sitting like on that nice cloud deck, 20, 30 miles away, those clouds are touching the horizon. And they look like they're at your eye level. But you know that's just perspective. And that they're still 10, 20,000 feet in the air. Right. But they look like they're at the horizon. So if this is the cloud, here's the ground and here's the cloud deck. It all in the distance goes like this. So now you have this horizon, which is the clouds. I got the sun, which is above the clouds. And as the sun goes away, it looks like it's setting behind it. Let me show you a quick demonstration, and then we'll go to the next best question. And this is called my Flat Earth Kitchen. Those of you that watch me probably knew what I was going to come up with. So real quick, and then we'll move on. This line is level, and you can see that it's level. Okay? I'm moving the sun across it, and we're viewing it from a terrestrial point of view, the same height as the sun. Here, this could be a tree line, a city line, mountaintops, or a cloud deck. Doesn't matter. I'm above it. It's opaque. We never drop below it, period. Now I have another camera on the flat earth counter at the other end watching the same thing happen as the sun moves away. And look, if I showed you this line first and said, is this level, what would you say? No, it's going down, right? And I'm going to say, is the sun going below this opaque barrier, which looks like it's at my eye level, which we know it's not. It's well above it. But it looks like the sun is setting beyond this, right? This line that looks like it's almost going straight down is level. But this is how our eyes see. Now I'm going to compare it to a real sunset. Now you would think the sun is going to go behind this horizon, but look, it's going behind that one. That is called the atmospheric deck of opacity. And I'm zoomed in on that. If I zoomed out, this line, this space here would close up. You wouldn't even be able to see it. And from watching it, it just looks like the sun is going below it.
Wow. That's killer. That's a pretty cool demonstration right there. Absolutely. Well, man, you've opened my mind up even further. And a lot of people are here like, holy smokes. By the way, before we forget, David, would you mind giving a shout out on your website and your information so people can know where to find you, please?
The best place is to get my app. Oh, there he goes. He's selling an app, right? $3. Here's what I say. Do not buy my app. Go to the App Store and just read the reviews. App Store, Google Play Store. It's the highest rated app in the App Store. And I'm actually going to share it with you real quick. And this is how you learn about flat Earth. So can you can see my screen here?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this is called the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. The sky is a perfect clock. The sun keeps track of the hours and the days. Wherever the sun is, it's noon, right? The sun will lap the moon every 28 days. So if I speed it up, you'll see that the sun is going to catch up to the moon. The moon, its phases and its position keep track of the weeks and the months. There used to be 13 months of 28 days, but they hijacked that from us also, right? Slow it down, turn on the stars. The stars are spinning the same way from east to west, no matter where you are on Earth. And the stars are going slightly faster than the sun to where the point where is they'll lap the sun once every 365 days. So right now, the sun is fading back into this constellation. Next month, it'll be in Capricorn. It'll fade back in there, and it'll go through all the zodiacs until it's back to where it is on this day next year, right? So the stars keep track of the seasons and the years. So this is how you learn about flat Earth, and I have a challenge. I'm offering 3 Bitcoins for 1 proof of the globe, but you have to take the challenge. Every day, there's a featured video here. You just tap this thumbnail, up comes the video. These are videos that YouTube doesn't want you to see. And after 2 weeks, if you haven't lost the respect of your family and friends because you're a flat earther and you still think the Earth is a globe, you can send me 1 proof and win 3 Bitcoins. But before you do, you have to hit this question mark, which is the frequently asked questions. If I hit that, up comes a list of all of the questions that you could ask. Hey, what about eclipses? Hey, what about ships over the horizon? If I click what about ships over the horizon, up comes a playlist that YouTube doesn't want you to see. They don't want you to find these videos because then you'll understand why you think you see ships disappear from the bottom up. Okay? All of these videos will show you amazingly, and my favorite one is number 3 right here, this light blue one, 10-minute video, and it basically shows you what you're seeing, and then once you see it, you can't unsee it. It has tons of other information. For those of you that have the app, The Lost History of Flat Earth, this one will blow you away. It's 5 hours long. Oh, 5 hours. I'm not watching a 5-hour video. I just say watch 10 minutes of it, and there's no way you can turn it off after that. This one will blow your mind. My short videos are here. My interviews are here. This will be right here on once this goes up. And tons of information. But here's the thing I was saying before. There's lots of flat earthers. I'm going to hit the little handshake button, and up comes, these are flat earthers near me. I can zoom in, and I could say, hey, who's this guy? And I tap on him, and I could send a text message to find other flat earthers near me. Pretty cool, right?
Wow.
And they're everywhere. Right now, there's 20,977 people that have discovered that I just added this feature. There's still another 80,000 users of my app that haven't signed on yet. Okay? There's flat earthers everywhere. So when you hear Bill Nye, the lying guy, no, not Bill Nye, what's the guy, the English guy? Brian Cox, I call him Lying Box. He says nobody has ever thought the earth was flat, right? And that's the farthest thing from the truth, because there's so many of us, it's unbelievable. Questions from the
Who's
chat?
Flat Earth Man? Somebody's asking me. Can you ask Dave who Flat Earth Man is?
Yeah, so Flat Earth Man is the most talented musician in the world, named Alex Michael. His website, all you got to remember, is Conspiracy Music Guru. And he did a series of Flat Earth songs with video that, besides being awesome for kids, they're awesome for anybody. They're the best. And I have they're in the app. You might have just seen it in the app. There's a link to all of his great videos. Amazing, fascinating stuff. And they get stuck in your head and you can't stop singing them. So that's who Flat Earth Man is.
Okay. Wow, this is amazing. So on your app, are they able to, the flat earthers, are they able to communicate with one another?
Yeah, so you tap on a dot, and then you can send a group message to them. Yeah, you can send a single message to them, and people are meeting up. This has only been out for a couple of weeks. People are meeting up everywhere. People are like, I didn't think there was anybody around me. We just got, in Arizona, there was like 30 people that got together just yesterday. All right? Nice. Amazing. And so also you can set your radius for how many people are within 5 kilometers or 10 kilometers or 50 kilometers, whatever it is. And that's what that circle you saw was. And I'll show you again. And so this circle right here, well, yeah, not part, you can see it. There's 148 people within 50 kilometers of me. So a feature that's coming next week is I'll be able to tap on that where on the top button on the left where it says 148 and send a group message to all of them like, hey, we're having a meetup at the so-and-so bar and grill, tomorrow at 1:00. And you can send a group message out. And honestly, if I was home looking for something to do and someone says, hey, there's a whole bunch of flat earthers getting together, 20 miles down the road, I'm in every single time.
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
That is so freaking awesome. So here's the $1 million question. This is coming from Shannon Trees here. She asks, I'm confused here. What is the purpose for keeping the flat earth a secret?
Yes, great question. Thank you for asking. So this is who are they? These are the people that run the world. There's only really one media company. They say there's 6. It's really just run by the same people. These are the people that run the world. So what they don't want you to realize is that you are at the center of creation, that you are a powerful spiritual being. Now, before Flat Earth, I guess I was an atheist. I thought all religions were crazy. The idea that there's a God, that doesn't make any sense. And I believe that I evolved from pond scum, right? My eyes evolved from pond scum. Makes perfect sense. Okay. And we're spinning out of control, lost in space, but somehow, even though we're traveling billions of miles every year, all of the stars reset themselves every single year exactly where they were. You go out to look at the stars tonight, and they'll be in the exact same position next year, same day, same time. Okay? So that makes no sense in a beehive, crazy, ridiculous, helio-nonsensical universe. So our thought, this is what they don't want you to know, that our thoughts create our reality. Okay? People, I want $1 million. Well, you're basically saying I'll never have $1 million. And that's what your thoughts are really saying. You have to put it out there and allow the earth system to deliver to you. Everything that you have in your life is because you aligned with it. You attracted it into your life. You are your biggest enemy. You have nobody controlling you other than the thoughts in your mind, right? So they got us with the television programming. They have us on a ball. It's all been discovered, like Truman, the Truman Show, right? And they've limited our thoughts, right? They have us believing we're running out of water. There's infinite pure water, infinite. Look into primary water. There's so much water, it's not even fathomable. We're running out of food. Baloney. You can take a seed, stick it into the ground, water will fall from the sky, and food will grow out. You can put overpopulated. You can put everyone on Earth in Texas, and everybody would be fine. Okay, we're afraid of nuclear bombs. That's a whole nother rabbit hole. They don't exist. We're afraid. All of this stuff. Fear, fear, fear. Limiting our thoughts, controlling our minds, keeping us as slaves. Right? We're the only living things on Earth that have to work to survive. Okay, what's happening in the world right now is because we have all let it happen. It's our fault. Everything. It's everyone's fault because we're letting this happen. If everyone said, hey, these guys were right. I listened to the PPN yesterday with Dave on it and Chaz, and what they're saying, that makes a lot of sense. I'm no longer going to listen to the government. Well, it's over. It's over like that. It's over. They have no power whatsoever, right? Everyone turn off the TV, go outside, open up your businesses. It's over instantly. They don't want us to know that we have that power, right? If you think that you're spinning out of control, lost in space, where an asteroid could take you at any moment, all this crazy stuff, well, then you're living in fear. You're giving up your divinity. You're giving up your true power. And that's why anyone that can't see that has suffering from the worst case of Stockholm Syndrome. It's beyond fathom. And by the way, I was that person. What difference does it make? When I couldn't debunk it, I'm like, why would they lie? They can't even keep a blowjob a secret, right? And how would they get away with this, right?
Right.
And the truth is, there's so many people that actually defend the globe that have no idea what the globe is. They have no idea, right? No one knows. I gave you a bunch of stats on the globe. We're spinning 24,000 miles around. We're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. We're orbiting. We're whirling. We're 93 million miles from the sun. People don't know that. Oh, how do we figure out we're 93 million miles from the sun? A ridiculous equation based on an assumed radius, based on an assumed size of Venus. Nonsense. Nonsense. So they're hiding more land. They're hiding more resources. They're hiding knowledge. They're hiding our history. They're hiding who we truly are. They're hiding our true power. They're taking it all away. And anyone that defends the helio-sinister trick of the soul lure system, where they're trying to steal your soul, that's the currency of this world. We are here having this human experience with a spark of God in us. Whoever that God is, that's your own deal. You can figure that out. And that's your soul. And they want our souls. And then literally, you can sell your soul. Go ahead, sell it for fame and fortune. You can, do whatever. But this world is an amazing school where we are having this experience. And right now, there's a massive intelligence test happening.
Absolutely, there is. 100%. Well, I can't thank you enough, David. It's been eye-opening, informative. I know our audience here, they're absolutely loving it. Dave is the man. Thanks for having him on. Thank you for tuning in. Lots of comments here. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate everything you do. Keep on keeping on, Dave. This is what we're seeing here in the comments. Man, we'd love for you to come back if you're open to it.
Absolutely. If you get a lot of reactions. Now, I have a team of zero content YouTube channel trolls that will comment on everyone's comment, and they'll be like, Dave's a scammer, he's selling a useless app, it's already been disproven, blah, 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 blah. What about the Pontchartrain Bridge? I mean, just all of this nonsense. They follow me everywhere. It's amazing. But if you got a list of questions, especially hard questions, right? and we could go over them. We didn't really get into a lot of the proofs today, but I'm happy to answer any question. And here's one thing I can tell you 100% for sure. Well, actually, two things. One, we don't know a lot. There's a lot we do not know about this place. And the other thing is, flat earthers, some people say, well, there's a dome. It's made of, glass. It's made of energy. It's made of frozen ice. Some people say there's no dome. I don't know what there is. I think there's some sort of dome. It's kind of more like a dinner plate rather than a salad bowl, an upside down dinner plate. That's my opinion. Don't know. We're speculating. But what we all know, scientifically provable, is that we don't live on a spinning space ball in an infinite space vacuum with gas balls, that are bigger than the Rocky balls that are on fire in a vacuum. In a vacuum. A gas ball on fire in a vacuum. Okay? Do you see a problem with that?
I do. When you break it down to that, and you do it step by step, which is very important too, because it explains a lot of different things. So now everyone that's been paying attention, just like myself, as soon as I step outside, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to start looking up, and I'm going to be just
today,
observant.
I think the moon is in the day sky today. You might be able to catch it. Look at the moon with an open mind and see that it's right here within the Earth system. Okay? It's right here, and it is its own light. It's not reflecting sunlight. It's not reflecting sunlight. There's many times of the month where you can see the moon and the sun and their relationship to each other, and it doesn't line up. It doesn't. The light doesn't line up. Like here's the sun. Well, the sun should be up here somewhere, right?
Right. I agree.
So everything they're showing us, what the stuff they tell us, none of it lines up when you look at it. The problem is we haven't been taught to think for ourselves. We're taught to memorize and regurgitate Rockefeller nonsense out of their textbooks. Okay? They don't teach us vortex mathematics or sacred geometry. They teach us accounting, all right, and managerial accounting and algebra, okay, which has a little bit of use, a tiny bit if you're maybe cutting a piece of wood, okay, but they don't teach us the stuff that could free us. They don't teach us, anything about free energy, right? Free energy is everywhere, okay? Yep. And they teach us that we're at the pinnacle of intelligence. Well, we're in the middle of the movie Idiocracy, and there was a huge, intelligent, advanced civilization here in the 1800s and before called Tataria, worldwide. Right? And there's tons of information in the app, the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. Get the app, check it out, read the reviews if you're worried about the $3, okay? And take the challenge. Watch the videos, okay? My channel, YouTube channel, is DITRH. DITRH. It's the initials for Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. DITRH. And my videos, when I put up a 5-minute video, they go, oh, what are you making, a documentary? My videos are like 2 minutes, okay? Because I understand the short attention span. But now, once you get into this, you're going to love the longer videos because you're going to want more. Because I have to tell you, since I discovered the Earth is not a spinning ball flying through space, there hasn't been a bored moment any second of my life, right? I am constantly learning new things, figuring things out, always have something to talk about. I don't have to talk about sports. I don't have to talk about the weather. I don't have to talk about, the what movie did I watch on Netflix, right? On that mind control, right? Amazing. Mm-hmm. And here's my other trick. Look, I'm on the space station.
Right.
This is all they do, right? And then, if you watch the tour of the space station, that's all done with green screens, and they're actually pulling the space station through their position where they're hanging, right? If I went like this, instead of me going up, the whole space station would come down, the green screen, but from your point of view, I'd be going up. It's amazing.
Wow. That is amazing. And that's so true.
Yeah.
Well, I can't thank you enough for coming on. Guys, listen, David, you've done a spectacular job today. We look forward to having you back on. And final words, anything that you would like to leave?
My final word is don't believe anything. Belief is the enemy of knowing. My final words are look into this, but don't Google it because you're just going to be thrown off track. You're going to wait. You just be happy to be a Glober if you try Googling it. Look at the information. Think for yourself, okay? And start allowing yourself to see this real world and take your power back, because we are at a critical time right now. If we do not get our heads out of our rears and wake up and take back, our reality, we're going to be slaves for 1,000 years, right? So there are two things. Here's two things. One, figure out, understand where you are, who you are, what you are. That's the most important. And the other thing is that's how they control our minds. But they also control us with their fake monopoly money, right? In the game of Monopoly, it says if the bank runs out of money, just get some pieces of paper and write some more money down, okay? Right? We're playing on their monopoly board. We have to get off their monopoly board and get onto decentralized cryptocurrency, privacy cryptocurrency, not their centralized cryptocurrency. Because if we go on their digital dollar, we're slaves forever, okay? And now there's all sorts of other investments too, physical gold, physical silver, excuse me. I'm all about it, all about skills and everything. But there is a space for digital privacy cryptocurrency. If you don't know anything about it, learn about it. Just take a little time every week. One great place I'll plug for my co-host, Jeranism, JERANISM.com. Click the crypto link. He's got classes there. He's got one-on-ones. Just start learning about it because it's super early right now, and it will change anyone's life that gets into it.
David, thank you so much for everything you do. Hey, guys, David Weiss, Flat Earth. I hope you got educated. I know I did, and look forward to having you back on, David. Thanks again.
Thank you.
God bless you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
You all love the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. The best tool to show your friends and strangers how the Flat Earth actually works. But are you ready for a Flat Earth app game changer? A new feature has been added. But first, a reminder of some of the existing features. Video of the day. World time. See what time it is all around the flat Earth. A true Earth compass that shows true navigation across and around the flat Earth plane. Weather. Tap for detailed local weather information. Know what phase and where the moon is at all times. Watch the sun travel between the tropics for the seasons. Select an amazing background. Add a countdown to your next big date. Video playlists in different languages. See the real trade winds circling the flat Earth. Top 21 frequently asked questions with quick pop-up video answers. Access to the best photos and gifts at your fingertips. Flat Earth books and merchandise, and more. Now, the game changer upgrade we've always dreamed of having. After a year in development, our app just went next level. You're now able to find Flat Earth app users near you. See where they are and send them an instant message in the app. Instantly arrange for a Flat Earther meetup. When activated, blue dots mark the location of the app users near you. You have 3 choices on showing your location. PP, to pinpoint. This marks your exact location. CC, for city center, which will place you within a few miles of your current location. Or turn off, which removes you from the map altogether. Use it when traveling, or when you're out for a day at the beach, or while eating out somewhere. Find out where other Flat Earthers are and connect. Find like-minded Flat Earth app users and regain your sanity. The Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app is the best tool to show your friends and strangers how our Flat Earth actually works.